On October 2nd, 2012, we, my wife and I, won a car at the Caruthers District Fair, the largest free gate fair in California. After much reflection, I have pinpointed the reasons I believe we won, and I am now prepared to share with you the secrets of how to win a new car. But first, a little background. We live in Caruthers, California, and in the town of Caruthers, the biggest event of the year is the Caruthers District Fair. Held during harvest season at the end of summer, it has been this small town's claim to fame for about 100 years now. In order to pay for expenses every year, teen girls sell raffle tickets in a contest where the one who raises the most money is crowned Fair Queen. It is a time-honored tradition and quite an accomplishment for any young lady. It is also a tradition to give away a new car as the grand prize in the nightly drawings on the last night of the fair. Always a new car and always a Ford. And this year it was a Ford Mustang. Everyone gathers around, waiting to see if their name is called, moans with disappointment when it's not, and then most everyone goes home and hopes to win next year. I have experienced the process many times, but this time was different. For starters, my daughter ran for Fair Queen, and so we had the opportunity to see the process up close and behind the scenes. We also bought more tickets than we had ever bought before. If you add up all the tickets we had ever bought over the years, it would not come close to the amount that we bought in this one year. But we still did not buy enough. Our daughter came in second place in a very close race. If we had only bought a few more, she could have been Fair Queen. But we bought what we could afford, and not as much as the other parents, as I later found out. However, I know my daughter worked the hardest. Knocking on doors, visiting local events, businesses and farms, always with tickets in hand, with high hopes of peddling a few more. And so this brings me to my first point. If you want to win, you have to buy a ticket. It seems simple enough, but I am always surprised at the number of people who hope to win without buying a ticket. Many times you hear people say, if I win the lottery, I'm going to do, and then they name off a few things that they would do if they won. The next time you hear someone say that, ask them if they bought a ticket. Chances are they haven't. They've expected or hoped to win without even buying a ticket. Now that's a miracle. Now, if they say, yes, I bought a ticket, ask how many tickets. Which brings me to my second point. Buy a lot of tickets. The more you get, the greater your odds. As I said, we bought more tickets, by far, than we had in previous years. I often hear from people who say that they have bought a lot of tickets over the years, and they have never won. Many of those people then threaten to stop buying tickets. I stop them right there and tell them, no, you need to buy more tickets. We bought more than we ever had, and that's one of the reasons we won. In fact, you would do better to buy all those tickets you've bought over the years at one time. Having all the tickets in the barrel at once dramatically increases your odds. I know you're probably saying about now, increase my odds from 1 in a million to 1 in 10,000, but in our case, we went from 1 in 10,000 to about 1 in 100. That's right, I calculated based on what all the girls sold and an estimate of what tickets were sold at the fair that we had about a 1% chance of winning a prize each time a name was drawn. And in fact, in addition to winning the car, we also won a number of smaller prizes, as did the other families of the girls who ran for Queen. We all bought more tickets, and we all won more prizes. 1 in 100. This still is not enough to get you anywhere close to winning a car. The odds are still too slim. Which brings me to my next principle. About a month after the win, I was reminded of something. About 5 years prior, we'd given away a van to a family we know who was in need of a vehicle. It wasn't worth a whole lot, and I thought, why not help someone out? It seemed like a decent thing to do. In the ways of God, there is such a thing as the principle of seed time and harvest. God showed me one day that had we not given away our old van, we would not have won the new car. By giving away a vehicle, we sowed a seed that we harvested that clear, starry October night. But it was not just that one act of kindness. We are continually reaping, good or not so good, as a result of our actions and choices. The very way in which we live or how we treat others are the seeds that will one day reap a harvest. Sow kindness, reap kindness. Care for others, and you will be cared for. Show people love, and you will receive love. You know when I said that people wait for the drawing, hear someone else's name, moan and go home? It was not like that when we won. It was the strangest thing. So many people commented on how excited people were to see us win. They were genuinely happy that if it was not going to be them that won, that it was us. I remember it as if it were a dream, people cheering and smiling as we walked up to the platform. One friend that we had gone to church with told us, "You are so blessed." She knew this was a God thing. She also knew that a few weeks earlier our son had wrecked our car. We had had to rent a car just to finish the last couple of weeks of the race. Which brings me to my next point. Have a need. God has promised to meet our needs if we follow after Him. He does not meet our every want or whim, and He is not a genie who grants wishes, although I know there are some out there rubbing their Bibles saying, "Gimme, gimme, gimme." God met our need. Now there is a good chance that a car or some other blessing would have caught up to us eventually, but I believe God moved at this precise moment to meet our need. God operates under the principle of seed time and harvest, but when a need meets a seed, watch out. The timing was right. We had a need, and God had a blessing. We had sowed a seed with that van, and now we were reaping a harvest with a new Ford Mustang. Now, my last principle in how to win a new car is have faith. As we sat through the drawing that night, I began to notice that they were not picking our tickets like they had at the other nightly drawings. We just weren't getting called as much, hardly at all. That's when it hit me. Maybe we were going to win the car. I began to hope. With each passing draw, I began to feel that we were going to win. I began to hear my name being called in my head. And then they drew the winning ticket. And there was a long pause. It seemed like forever. Everyone around us thought, that's it. They've drawn a name that no one can pronounce, or they can't read the name on the ticket because of someone's bad penmanship. But not me. I felt even stronger that it was going to be me. Then Toby, the announcer, called out, "The winner of the 2013 Ford Mustang is..." And then another long pause. In that silence, I could hear my name being called, and in my mind it was as clear as when it was called for real. Then it happened. "Stephen Daniels!" They had just called my name. I'd like to say that I was ready to accept the good news, or that I hooped and hollered, but I was in shock. I guess I had heard it so many times in my head, I began to question if I had heard it for real. I leaned over to my wife and asked, "Are we dreaming? Had I really just heard my name called? For real? Or once again, was it just in my head?" No, it was for real. A funny thing, as my daughter was selling these tickets, I would often say, "I am believing that she is going to sell the winning ticket." Lo and behold, she had. She had sold it to me. What a blessing! My faith had grown to a place where I could accept God's blessing. The Word says that faith without works is dead. The work was buying the tickets, a bunch of tickets, and it was in sowing a seed. Then, in God's time, He blessed us beyond measure. Well, that's it. No guarantees. But when you follow after God and walk in His ways, He will provide for your needs. And He does want to bless you. Maybe not with a new car, Maybe He wants to bless you in another way, with a job, or a dream, or even a house. Whatever He sends your way, remember, you are so blessed.